Okay, we are on. Hey, you guys, welcome to this morning's webinar for My Passive Trades. I could not be more thrilled and excited. This is going to be like, this is the stars have aligned. The sweatpant vacation is in full effect at the moment. And so I appreciate each and every one of you guys jumping on here. My name is Casey Eberhardt. For the couple of you I don't know on here, and I'm based out of Los Angeles. I'm a business coach and strategist and consultant. I run a giant mastermind program out here in the States. And about September 15th of 2019, my partner in our meetup groups, Ryan Begley here, came to me after one of our meetups and said, pulled me aside and kind of gave me a nudge and said, hey, dude, I think you ought to take a look at something. And I know Ryan, I know he's a young, aggressive millennial that's smarter than me. And so I said, okay, dude, you got something you want me to look at? Just by the nature of we're in partnership together, I'm happy to take a look at it. So I have to be honest with you, he kind of sent me a link. The first thing I did was I went and I looked at the link. I went and watched a 6-minute video on the front of the site, and I was like, I'm a crypto guy. I've been investing in cryptocurrency like back when it was still part of Dungeons and Dragons, right? And so I keep my options open. I always look for opportunity. I'm an entrepreneur. I look for opportunity at all times. I keep my options open. Side incomes, primary incomes, businesses to buy, doesn't matter to me. I'm always looking from a way to enhance the community I serve and my family with better food on the table, right? And so Ryan sent me that link. I took a look at it. I literally called him back. I'm like, dude, I'm in. Like, I'm in. Where do I go? I'm a guy that tries to figure it out on my own. I'm not smart enough to figure out that I can leverage other people yet. So I went and I figured it out. I put in, I'm going to leave numbers out, but here's what I can tell you. I started with a digit number 1 of what I uploaded into the system. And currently my digit is now a 9. So I am over 9 times what I started this with. And I've just never found a system or a process that I couldn't find anything bad about, that the people are super cool, that's super easy. And I'm an options trader and a derivatives trader and a commodities trader. Like I get all of that nerdy stuff. But what this really did was brought all of the nerdism down to something where it's real, where you and I, my mom, my brother, my best friend who doesn't have a whole lot of tech skills, doesn't understand a whole lot of what's going on. The word cryptocurrency or any of that is so outside his scope. It allows him to go in and, once a week, go in, click a couple of buttons and help provide for their family. So I just went to Ryan. I said, dude, I'm in. Let's rock and roll. And we put a great team together. We've got a Facebook chat. We've got a Facebook group. We put a team together. And you guys, if you're watching this, we are here to completely help remove any roadblocks that you have. And I think what you'll see after hearing the CEO of the company, Darren, talk is the transparency factor in an organization like this is 100% key, 100%. The less transparent something is, the more red flags it potentially throws up, at least from my perspective. So we threw out a call to Darren and said, hey, would you mind coming and spending a few minutes and just laying out the transparency that you've laid out for the entire company to our small group? And shockingly, because he's part of the new sweatpant economy, he said yes. So you guys, I'm going to pass it over to Ryan. It is awesome to have you guys on here. Mr. G, thank you so much for what you do. Darren, thank you so much for what you do. Ryan Begley, I'll never be able to repay you for hitting me in the rib cage with your elbow and asking me if I wanted to see something cool. So with that, Ryan, I'm going to pass it back to you, boss.
Hey guys, yeah, my name is Ryan Begley. I'm, as Casey said, a millennial entrepreneur out here in Santa Monica, California. And just providing for my family, looking for different ins on how to do that. More or less smarter, easier than harder is what I'm trying to go about. And I've also been able to surround myself with people that have, a lot more knowledge or connections than myself. So that's really kind of where I get opportunities to come across, and I can kind of sift and sort. I'm not somebody that jumps into every single thing that comes across my desk. Actually, it's very rare for me to just jump into opportunities. Mr. G has known me for a good part of a decade now, and You know, he comes to me with quite a bit of stuff. We do some things, but like I said, it's just a very small handful of things I deal with that I see a lot of potential. And yeah, back last year in July, Mr. G came to me maybe about the third time and said, "Man, I really gotta have you take a look at something." And he's like, "It's something that is producing. They do every single thing that they said they're going to do, they've done, and you know, just take a look." So I said, "Hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and take a look." I threw a couple of bucks in there just to see the process. And sure enough, in about a month time, after I didn't even look at the system for about a month, I came back in. Sure enough, there was profits in the system, and I said, "Okay, get a little bit more excited. They're doing what they said they're doing." Delve a little deeper, connected with my buddy Casey, and we just kind of took it off from there. So really, and it's not really about me or him or anything, it's about you. So really what I want to do is get Mr. G on to just introduce to you the CEO that kind of helped put together this call, introduce me to this. And yeah, G, if you want to take it over and introduce our special guest man of the hour here.
Yes, well, you know, you guys, between you and Casey, y'all left me with no words. I mean, y'all said it all. You know, the fact of the matter is that the program is good. I'm glad that you took a look at it, Ryan, and was able to pass it down to Casey, which I will get to know more shortly. I love his energy. Thank you so much, sir, for taking a look. You know, and understand back in those terms, it was only maybe 1 or 2 levels. So I didn't really care. You know, I just want to make sure that everybody was blessed, because that's the whole idea. But at least now I'm able to be in touch with more and more people. So Casey will be talking more often. So thank you for what you do, sir. And thank you for seeing the vision. And I'm glad your numbers are bigger than mine. That is good. That is good. You know, it happens. That's why I love this business, because no matter where you are, you can always make more than the next person. It's how much work you put in and how much effort you work. So thank you for that, sir. Well, you know, everybody, I know we've been here for quite a while, so I want to say again, I introduce you, Darren, the man with no introduction, because we see them all over Facebook, right? All the time. Every time we get on Facebook, he's there. He's one of those CEOs, as you know already, that, hey, listen, you know, I'm hands-on. And I love that. And I know everybody trying to hit him all the time on Facebook. I don't know how that man does it. I know it's a couple thousands of people in the program, and I send a message to him, and he responds to me. I'm like, what I'm like, I don't say nothing, but I'm like, man, this man is always in there. So I think, I don't know how you do it, brother, but thank you so much, especially with the different verticals that, you know, my passive trade has behind, which I'm pretty sure you will talk about. I mean, seriously, my head goes out to you. Some people can handle 1 or 2 things, but your hand is all over the place. So thank you, brother, for being here. I appreciate you. And just come on to the call and let us know what we have. This is being recorded, so please, so we could pass it down to the people. And I'm gonna let Ryan please take over the call and do what he does best. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for everything you're doing to helping us, Ryan.
Yeah. So hey, Darren, it's great to finally kind of meet you. I feel like I did kind of already know you. We've chatted on Facebook chats. I've been on webinars with you, asked you direct questions that you've answered. And so really what I want to do is just kind of give you I want to give you just a chance to first give us just a quick little background. And for everybody, Darren, he is the CEO of My Passive Trades, and it's, in my opinion, one of the best online passive income generating systems that I've came across in a very long time. It's not all about these wow earnings and profits, which is a very big part of it, but as you'll see, and what I would love for you to go into, Darren, is one, the earning potentials, but also the sustainability, which I think is the key component to this, to not being just a flyby opportunity where the roof just caves in and then it's all done and we don't see anything about it ever again. First, before we get into that, can we just get a little background of, a brief background of you and what led you into the idea of My Passive Trades and then the creation of My Passive Trades.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, hello everybody. Right. Starting off with, I am Darren Bradbury, as I said, I am from the UK. How did it all begin? At a very young age, at 17, I joined the military in the UK. I joined the Navy, went through to the Marines, did the Marines, left after 5 years. I held my daughter, that was the end of that, to cut a long story short. And then afterwards, when we come out, didn't really have much to do. When I was leaving and on my resettlement, I did an accountancy course. I had an accountancy job to come out to. It fell through the day that my resettlement actually finished. And then a week later, I was invited to a network marketing meeting. I had no idea that that's where I was going, but I was going to it all the same. So sat through the presentation, looked at it, and I could really see the potential of it. So that's what kind of brought me into the outline of the industry, let's say. Moving on from there though, did really well with network marketing, great, loved it. But I found that I was doing so much of my advertising online anyway. So from that kind of dragged me, I'd say, towards more the online side. Tried a few systems myself. I'm primarily a marketer anyway. We built My Passive Trades out of sheer frustration for everything else that was around. I was looking at, as a marketer, we'd already started building some of our other elements as well. But I, as a marketer, was looking for something to market as well. And there was just nothing that ticked the boxes. There was nothing that felt right. Every time I looked at something, I could see that something just didn't add up. I am a numbers man as well. So really it was built out of frustration for there not being anything out there, and us wanting to have something to be able to provide to people, to be able to earn online. So it really gave us the best of both worlds to think, well, you know what, we got our own programming team, we've got our own trading team, we know what we're doing on for our other external income streams, which we had already started building. Let's just do it ourselves. So we did.
Awesome. Awesome. So for new people that are just taking a look at My Passive Trades for the first time, can you give us just kind of an overview of what it is, what you do, and how you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so My Passive Trades, first and foremost, you purchase an advertising product. Okay, that product you can use to advertise anything, yourself, another business, another opportunity, whatever you want to be. You can advertise within the site to obviously a core audience of other people that are highly interested in that type of thing. The income side of that, on the back end of that, there is a cashback program. So the cashback program pays out every week, and it pays out based on the profits accumulated from the overall portfolio. So all of the funds in the trading, but also our other income streams as well. The bigger our community grows, naturally, the bigger all of the other things grow as well, which all feeds into a trading fund, which generates more profits to go out to the users. So we work on a pure basis of paying out only profit and building that profit to create more profit as well, instead of ever actually using the core fund.
Okay. So with the profits, we know, I've been in the deal. I've done Forex trading, securities, commodities, all different types of things. Day trading, actually, I've done it for quite a while. So I'm very familiar with it. But for somebody that is just coming into it with not really any experience of that, what is, when we talk about trading, the profits, really, the profits from the trading, and then what other types of business developments does My Passive Trades derive profits from, that all kind of, where did all the profits kind of feed into?
Okay, so all of the profits from all of the other businesses, we'll talk about the other businesses and what they are as we go through, but all of the profits from them go into the trading fund. The trading fund, the bill averages over the last 3 years, from what we've seen, the bill is averaged 12 to 13% per month. So all of the other income streams, they all feed into the trading fund, so that's constantly growing. And it's the profit from the trading fund of which is dividend out to the members. So that way we can make sure that the company is always building. even irrelevant if we have new people joining or not. It doesn't make, or new deposits, none of that matters. The business is growing naturally regardless of that aspect.
Cool. And when we're talking about trading, just to be clear with everybody, we're talking about the foreign exchange or Forex market and also the cryptocurrency market, correct?
Yeah, correct. Mainly a lot more on the crypto side than on the Forex side, but yeah, crypto being such a new market, we use the Forex market more for, it's more of a stability market for us. It's a constantly has opportunities, whereas crypto obviously has the big moves.
Right. I definitely, I can agree with that, seeing it as well. So what I also want to do, in the last few months, there's been some updates to NPT to protect the sustainability of the system. Can you kind of expand on the importance of updates being and enhancements to the program to create that sustainability, and why? I mean, obviously it's important. We know it's important, but what has really driven you to sometimes make the hard decisions and really keep this sustainable for long term?
Okay, so our intention has always been, and our priority has always been sustainability. You probably heard me say it more times than I've probably said any other word in going. But sustainability is the most important thing for us. What drove us to make the changes? Obviously coming up to this specific one with the pandemic, and that nobody really saw it coming. So nobody knows where the end of it is at the minute. And we don't even know if we've passed the beginning properly at this stage. So for us, we thought, if we move to a position where we're only paying pure profit, then we can never revert backwards, so to speak. And where we are trading, it allows actually more margin, and it allows us to actually take slightly more risk, not a lot, but a slight bit more risk, as opposed to where you're paying a fixed, not yet, say a fixed percent daily, you have to hit that quota constantly. If you don't hit that quota, then you start dropping below. As soon as you drop into red figures, then you're trying to catch yourself back up, which is where I think majority of businesses in general probably go wrong, full stop, especially in our industry. The minute that you allow yourself to get into the red, then you're forever chasing to get out of it. And the more, you probably know if you're trading activity, then the more that you chase trades, the more that you're going to get yourself further into the red. And for us, really, as a business model, it made more sense for us as well, because if you're only paying profit, then you're constantly growing. Obviously, something like this causes panic and everything as well, like that. And yeah, we have the funds, we're able to pay it, but equally, it has the potential to completely squash a business too. We're not oblivious to that factor either. So for us, it's just the easiest method moving forward, just paying on the actual profits that are accumulated. The expected earnings are still very, very good in my opinion. I think that you've struggled to find anything actually legitimate out there that kind of comes close without having all of the skills and everything yourself to be able to do it. So yeah, it's a simple thing, but core sustainability is we will take sustainability over pretty much any other feature. The numbers have to add up.
So I definitely want to get into the earnings potential and just a little bit of that, but as a trader, I know the most important thing that I could easily say 90% of traders get wrong is risk management. And that's where mostly everybody fails in day trading, especially. And that's where I really seen you guys just take the bull by the horns and just like, hey, this is one of the most volatile. Volatility is great in trading, but it is unpredictable volatility, which is scary and very risky. And instead of taking funds and just, throwing it on the craps table, you've said, hey, we're going to kind of, set back, let things stabilize, and get a really a clear view on the analysis to really be able to kind of make these trades work. Because there's always kind of there's a game and a plan behind trading. But So one, I just want to applaud you guys for that. I seen it. Some people may not understand all of those things, but I seen it and really applaud you guys from that. So, but to kind of step away from the trading side, as members, we share in all of the profits to My Passive Trades. Can you just elaborate a little bit on some of the new developments that you have going into My Passive Trade that's going to really feed into My Passive Trades? Like I know you have Eureka Networks, you got a Chatterbox, there's a Eureka Move. If you can just kind of just give a little rundown and maybe a brief description of those type of things that are all, like I said, feeding into this My Passive Trades profits.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so on top of the trading dollar to dollar, okay, what we have Chatterbox, our own social media platform, very similar features and everything to Facebook, but considerably better, and I'm not biased at all. We have Eureka X, which is our own centralized trading platform. Pretty much the idea with Eureka X is that it's almost like all exchanges in one website, let's say. That's the easiest way to explain that. It's an exchange, but it's an exchange with a difference. We have our own DEX, which is probably about 2 weeks before that's launching as well. We've just launched our own global advertising property portal. That's doing really well. We've got quite a lot of properties growing on there. Obviously, with everything that's going on, they're using this time as a growth stage, should we say, to grow it up and get content on there. We also have our own blockchain with our own coin on it, which is a native coin to it. It is a hard fork of Quantum, so other projects, tokens can build over the top of it. If you are half familiar with crypto, then the easiest one to compare it with would be Ethereum, with the way that smart contracts and other projects can build over the top of it in that aspect. We also have our own version of YouTube coming, our own version of Fiverr coming, all of these over the next kind of spread across the next 2 to 6 weeks. Our own version of YouTube coming, our own version of Instagram coming, and our own version of Fiverr coming. We also have a global advertising car portal, for which we already have 6 international car dealerships that are already partnering with that as well. But we're going to wait until the other side of this to obviously launch that one, because nobody can really go out to purchase a car, so it's much use.
Yeah, that's I have a lot of actually friends in the car business, and that's where it's like some of those classic cars and things are working right now, but they're like, yeah, even if you buy a car, what are you buying a car to put it in your garage right now? So
exactly. Sorry to actually say, we do actually another active one that we do have. You're talking about classics. We have a importing business of motorbikes, specifically Harley Davidsons, from the US over to the UK. They get the touch-ups that they need, and they get put straight on the market here as well. I did a video on that one yesterday. They make about anywhere from 65 to 80% turnover per bike, because Ryan, you're in the US, yeah?
Yes, yeah, California.
You people in the US, you highly undervalue these Harley Davidsons in comparison to what we do here.
Well, yeah, it's funny. You know, I definitely have family members that love them, but the value of them definitely do not decrease. They hold their value. So I see, you know, that's a perfect business model. So as we take all of these business developments and we feed them into the My Passive Trades profits, can you just give us an idea of maybe, and I know it's really hard, kind of hypothetical to project these profits and earnings, but can you just give us an idea of what this means, all this kind of means to me as being I sign up into My Passive Trades, I'm making earnings every week. What are these business developments that are feeding into My Passive Trades? What does that all do for me?
Okay, so our actual anticipation is for year one is 100 to 125% return. So it's about 10% return per month as an average, let's say. But that's spread over the thing. So you're not going to get that every month. It's purely based on profits. Some months will be 4 or 5%. Some months going to be 15%. When if we go into a bull run as anticipated over the next few months, then you know we don't know. But we don't base it on if that happens. If it happens, brilliant. But we don't obviously build the business on that reasoning. all of the other businesses and everything that's feeding into it, for you as a member, it just means that you're going to earn more money. You don't need to do anything in relation to them. Some of them you can do little bits, and sure, by sharing it and helping it, that helps the community grow. But you don't have to do anything. You can work passively. We anticipate the earnings to grow by 25% year on year as well. So that's where the other business models that are feeding in and growing, plus the 20% that goes in from the earnings to build the business as well. That's where all of that goes to make sure that it's constantly actually growing year on year, as I'm sure that inflation is going to be with us too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's actually, I'm glad you kind of put that in, as growing passively. All of us, I think we are all busy in our lives. We have lots of things, hopefully at least things going on in our lives. We have different businesses. As far as me, I can speak for myself, and I know Casey and Mr. G on the call also. We have different businesses running. So when I looked at this, being a sideline kind of thing to everything I'm doing, and it just kind of running itself is very attractive. And if I want to take it to another step or another level, I can. I can introduce this to people, which we'll go into a little bit, but you know, there's other things that you can do to really kind of blow up your earnings potential and things like that. But then you can also just literally keep it on autopilot on the sideline and really not even do anything, log into the system once a week. So that is brilliant. I love that aspect of it. And I think that's where we get a lot of attention with it too. So what I had a question to let everybody else on know right now, if you have some questions, there's a chat. If you want to put some questions in the chat, cool. We'll be looking at that. And I have a couple right now. But ERK coins, can you give a little bit of an outlook or a projection on where you think that's going?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so ERK coin is our little baby as well. It's ERK coin. First of all, if I explain it, it's used as a utility coin across the Eureka Network blockchain itself. It's a deflationary coin, which pretty much isn't out there really. The only one that is partially deflationary, should we say, is Binance, to our knowledge, of the bigger ones. Every single transaction, somebody's burnt out supply. So based on the very simple concept of supply versus demand, supply decreasing, demand is obviously ever increasing, then the price will remain stably growing. My anticipation and my personal target is to comfortably have it at $1 by the end of, really by my birthday, which is kind of in September. However, I think it would be highly possible to get it done by June, July as well. But my personal target is to get it done by my birthday.
Awesome. Hey, one of our panelists, Casey, got a question. Can you want to jump in, Case?
Yeah. Hey guys, this is great. So Darren, you know, I know, having been around the network marketing profession for a long time, one of the things I love about My Passive Trades is that it gives our customers and our team members the ability to either be literally 100% passive, meaning they don't share it with anybody, all the way up to somebody that shares it with a ton of folks and builds out an organization and generates a little bit of income on all of those people in the organization. I know that lots of people look at something like My Passive Trades and other organizations and ask themselves two questions. Is it real, and can I do it? Mm-hmm. And the can I do it part, we've pretty much taken on. It's pretty easy. If you can click 4 clicks on your mouse, you can do this. This is not rocket science. You're literally like clicking, buying a couple of ad packs or how many other ad packs you can, waiting for a week, lather, rinse, repeat until bald or rich, right? The thing I think most people are going to ask themselves with our deal here in My Passive Trades is it real? And the is it real question, I think what you guys have done is brilliant in terms of being transparent I'm wondering, for those of us that are a little bit more advanced on a trading side and understanding kind of how the profits are generated for the organization, can you talk just a tiny bit about what happens down the road? I mean, it's different when you're making a $10,000, $50,000 trade versus a $300,000, $500,000 trade. You know,
Yeah.
I know you're not just going on charlesschwab.com and dropping down big trades like that eventually.
Yeah.
How do you guys plan on managing trade size in a way that it allows you to still remain in profit and in market by not having massive trades versus having some smaller trades? Can you just talk a tiny bit on that?
Yeah. Right. First and foremost, I will make an open disclosure that I am not a trader. Okay. I have trading knowledge, but I'm not a trader myself. Nabil is head of trading. But to answer the question, yeah, it's not we already do from time to time make trades of the sizes that you're talking about anyway. And it's not, it all depends on liquidity, on which exchanges to a degree. For what you're saying is actually part reason for EurekaX and the thoughting process behind EurekaX in having all of the order books put into one exchange, so that we are able to access massive liquidity, the liquidity of all of the big exchanges in and out, which to a large degree equals your say $300,000. But if you spread that across being able to buy and sell that on 5-6 exchanges at once, it doesn't become quite so hard to actually get rid of it, so to speak, or to buy it. Margin trading, we do use margin, which the main reason that we use margin trading is not actually the prospect of the margin itself, it's the prospect of the security of not needing to put so much funds openly on an exchange at any one time. Nabil obviously does all the stop losses, everything like that, to keep everything extremely tight. The honest answer to the question, if you want more detail, is I'll get Nabil on a call and I'll get him to go through and explain to you in complete depth
Yeah, gotcha.
all of the technical bits. Yeah, all the bits that he says to me and that fly over me. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that people are looking like, it's one thing when we've got a few thousand members or a couple of thousand members or 20, 30, 50,000 members. But when you're putting in, you know, when we as an organization are bringing 10, 20, $30 million into the organization,
Sure.
as long as I think people know you've got a plan to be able to deal with the liquidity issue, I think
Sure.
that will, and if we've got to bring a trader on to talk to us nerds, we'll do that. Like I'm happy, I'm happy to do that. Question from somebody in the chat, Darren, is, do you foresee, and I mean, I can go back and forth on this, do you see in the future the potential ability for us to use auto purchase of the Forever Pack? So I literally, I must be so lazy I can't deal with this once a week.
Automatic internal compounding, no.
Yep.
And there's a reason for it, guys, is the product that we sell is advertising. You know, we deliver the advertising by people accessing the website. If we make auto compounding, nobody would ever want to access the website. Yeah, so it wouldn't really, it wouldn't be beneficial for the actual product of which is being used as well. And yeah, like everything, risk reward type thing. Is it worth saving people 3 seconds of their life as opposed to actually providing a good quality product? Not really.
Yeah, and you know, I have to say, and then I'll be quiet out of here. The two things, and I'm talking more to the attendees more than I am to Darren at the moment, is, you know, I went in and actually put up a list building website as part of my advertising, and we get login ads. You know, when you guys are logging in, you got to sit through an ad for 10 seconds. Well, that's what we're really, that's one of the advertising areas that we sell. So I threw up my own landing page inside of there, and right now, I'm adding between 5 and 15 people to my list almost every day, just out of that group. So the advertising piece actually works. in that sense. And so I would just say to you guys, explore the advertising piece and make sure the sites actually work. The number of sites that I click through, and I do the little surfing thing, and I'm sitting through and I'm watching, and the number of people that put in crappy sites or old dead sites is off the charts, which means that it gives us an opportunity to have a site that actually works being advertised inside of there. Darren, one last question from the panel, and then I'm gonna pass it back to Ryan so he can continue. Our buddy Mark says, hey, what do you feel, Darren, would be the best tools for marketing My Passive Trades to friends, people in our warm market? I know Mark, he's got a lot of confidence. He doesn't have a real big issue talking to people, but I know there are lots of people that wouldn't even know where to start, don't know what tools. Kind of what would be your approach if you're going to talk to, say, you know, your best friend about this?
Your personal experience is obviously the best place to start for everything. But moving forward, obviously just go through the business model. You can show them the videos, would probably be the best way. You can show my video from the front page, where I kind of cover what the business is, the basics of it, the products, how the cashback program works. I talk about all of the other income streams, only very lightly, but yeah, I think the whole video takes about 8 minutes, but I think it delivers a lot of information within that time. So that'll probably be something really good to share with people. Most important thing though is just share your personal experience. So what, from your perspective, what you've seen, what you like about it, you know, with your account, what's happened. You don't even necessarily need to, what I say to people as well is, if you don't want to give people figures, if you don't want to talk to them about things like that, that's fine. But you can kind of give percentage bases, ideas, things like that. So it's nothing personally tied to you as well. But yeah, just your personal experience would be the best way to go. Learn, if you want to share it with other people, you need to learn it yourself. You need to know yourself in order to be able to share it with other people. And then yeah, show them through to the videos. Bring them in. If they are on social media, then by all means bring them across to the group where I do Facebook Lives. If they have any questions or anything like that they're unsure about, if they ask you a question and you don't know the answer, then don't try and come up with the answer. Come on a live, come contact one of us, and give you the answer, and then obviously you'll be able to go back with it and you'll know it for yourself for future. Networking meetings, if you've got the confidence to do them locally. Yeah, but for offline, it's just a matter of talking to people, sharing your personal experience.
Awesome. Well, you know, thank you guys. One I want to, as we're talking about sharing with people, can you give us a little just a breakdown of how that side works as far as commission, percentage payouts? If I do share this with a friend, what happens as far as what does that benefit? How does that benefit me when I share the program?
Yeah, okay, sure. So we have a referral commission plan is 6 levels deep. It's a total of 17%. It is 8% on level 1, 3%, and then 2, and then 1. So what that means is that for everybody that you personally introduce, for every single time they make a purchase, whether that's a purchase that they've made straight away, or whether that's a purchase that they make with earnings weekly, you will make 8% on that. If that person then goes and introduces a few people, you're going to get 3% of everything that they purchase, and then going down the line as well. So for everybody that they purchase, you're going to get 2%, 2%, 1%, 1%. So you can actually build it out to be a rather large network.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you know, one thing as we've talked about, you know, the sustainability model, the credibility, and where Casey honed in earlier is, and what I seen My Passive Trades stand almost alone from every other kind of you know, thing I see on the internet or any type of you know, program that is talking about, you know, earnings and potential earnings, is the transparency. And this is where my story came to tell people. I'm like, look, you just don't see that in this industry. You know, Darren, you're on with us right now with just like a phone call. Hey, can you get on? Yeah. But besides this, you go on Facebook Lives, you know, constantly, not just like a one and done deal. I mean, you're on it constantly. You're not hiding behind any closed doors, and you actually encourage people to get on and ask you any question that you want. And can you just kind of give your ideology on that? I mean, I think it's kind of point blank, but where do you come at saying, look, I'm going to throw, you're going to see everything. I'm taking the cover off. You see it, you ask me, why did you come into this going about that nature rather than what we see everybody else doing?
The reverse question, why not? For us, all of the members have got questions. Everybody needs to know something. Why shouldn't it come from me? I can do a live, I can answer, as you see, I do answer hundreds of questions. Those hundreds of questions answer thousands of people's questions in the long run. Yeah, we go through, we show everything. Why not? Everything that we can show that isn't going to breach security in any way, shape, or form, which is extremely limited, or anything that would do that. Why not show it? It's there. If you're doing what you say that you're doing, then there's no problem in showing what you're doing.
Exactly, and I think that's where it really gives the comfortability on someone like me or people with bigger networks, because I mean, unfortunately, people have came into opportunities, been burned, and they're like, is this another thing, one of those things, or do I tell my good friend that's super uber successful, am I scared to tell him about this and put myself out there? And I think this really just kind of does that. So I'm just like, one, again, an applaud to you. The reason I think why I'm sitting in front of you right now talking to you about that is because of that feature that you really do, is that transparency, because otherwise it is just a complete shot in the dark, like I don't know what's going on. So that's awesome. So thanks, man. it's been good.
Thank you.
I think we're about to kind of finish up this call. If there's any other, Casey, is there any other chat questions, or if Casey, you have anything to add, Mr. G, if you have anything to add, I'd love for anybody to get on.
Yeah, I have a question. I have a question. Very good call, guys. Sir, can you please remind me, if anything, what day is the day that we are supposed to see a weekly earning? Is it Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday?
Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
Exactly that we're supposed to.
Yeah, every Wednesday, and the pay run starts at about midday my time. So based on we're in BST now, so British Summer Time, which is 6 hours ahead of New York, I think. So yeah, using that as a rough time frame, it's about midday for us that it will start. So really early hours on a Wednesday for you guys in the States.
Awesome. Another thing is, you guys gonna, as a company, gonna come up with maybe something like a debit card or something, maybe more, make it more accessible for people to spend that money all the way around the spinner? Yes.
Yeah, so for the debit card we're coming across, it's actually working with a banking system that's set up. They are in the UK and they are regulated, but they're regulated for worldwide. They are regulated on the banking front. They take care of all of that. We essentially white label over the top of them. So they take care of all of the money management, so to speak. We take care and we get our own brand that we can market with the debit card feature. For us, it's not really about profit. It's about user friendliness and an extra feature for the users.
Awesome, Darren. I just want to say we've covered everybody in the chat questions. Darren, I just want to say from one guy to another that works with businesses like this all the time, I just so appreciate what you've put together. I appreciate how it's been laid out. I can only imagine in these crazy, crazy times, the challenges that you guys are going through as we move through uncharted territories. And what I really appreciate is the ability for you to enhance and protect the program. And so I'm proud to be a part of this. For those of you that are watching that know me, I want you to know I've got my own money on the line in this thing. I'm happy to share it with each and every one of you and talk to you, answer any questions I can, as is Ryan as well. So Darren, I just want to say thank you so much for being on. Mr. G, thank you so much for, you know, harassing Ryan or whatever you had to do to get him to a point that he could show me. And Ryan, I'll pass it back to you, but I just really want to say thank you guys, and thank you guys for watching for sure.
Thank you, buddy. You're more than welcome.
Awesome. One last question, Darren, for you. Can't wait to get you back on here so we can do this again soon, and just hope that you and your family, well, not a question, just hope you and your family all stay safe and well. And we really, really do appreciate you coming on, and get back to work already and start making profits for us.
Hey, that's what the clever ones are for. I'm just the one that come out and talk. Nah. Thank you guys. It's exactly the same for all of you. I hope you all stay safe. I'm more than happy to come out and do more videos like this. We can do more updates for all the members too. I'm here if you need me. You know how to get hold of me, and give me a buzz if you need me.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.